Tēnā koutou e whakarongo mai nei ki te korimako o Taranaki I tēnei ata o tira ki koutou e mā taki mai nei ki runga I a pukamata I tēnei pāpaho mataora ko Te Aorangi Dillon tēnei e me I kau atu ki koutou katoa nā kei taku taa ko Sharlee Mareikura kei taku taa tēnei uri o te maunga tito hea ka waiho ki aia ki te whakamoho atu ki koutou katoa. Ko waia, aua āhuatanga katoa nā reira. Tēnā koe Sharlee, kei a koe te wā.
Tēnā koe Te Aorangi, he uri tēnei o Taranaki, Taranaki maunga. Ko te ati aua te iwi, ko o tā raua te marae, te taho tōku pāpa. Te taho tōku māma, ko ngā rua hinerangi te iwi, ko ngā titū te hapu, ko waiokura te marae. Engari tipu ake au ki runga I te marae o maunga rongo, ki raro I te maunga o Ruapehu. Ko te whānau Mareikura, tōku whānau āngai, ko tōku pāpa, ko Tom Mareikura. Ai, neke mai mātou ki Taranaki ai te wā e te kau aku tau I taua wā. Nō reira, kua noho mai, konei mai. Toko rua aku tamaiti, konei hana taku mātāmua, kei Waikato ia e noho ana. Ko Tānik, taku pōtiki, kei raro tonu I te tuanui o tona māma. Nā te mea, whai tala māma ki te tunu kai, mahi aha, tiki ai e itahi atu rawa. Nō reira, kei te noho mai tonu ia ki konei, ki Opunaki. Kei tōku taha hoki tētahi o aku I Ramutu, ko taku kai tohu, taku kai arahi, ko mahu ki tōna ingoa, e 5 ona tau, I noho mai ia e whāngā tau, ko inoai nei, I noho ana. He tauira ia ki te kurakapa Māori o Tomarongo. Kua tētahi o ngā kaimahi, kua te kaiako ki te kohanga reo o te namu, ki Opunaki. Kua hoki tētahi o ngā mema o te puare hāpure o Taranaki Kitai. Koira aku mahi, ko Sharlee Mareikura tēnei e mihi ana. Kia ora.
Uhu, tāni kei te noho tonu ia ki ngā reke o tōna whaia. Well, tino koi taua tama. Tērā te wāhi pai mo te noho. Ai ki tōna mama, ko ia te tangata e horoi ana kākuhu e tunu ana kai e hoko tonu I ana rawa, nā reira, kaore he take mo te neke ki tētahi atu whare. Clever boy. Ana ka mihi hoki ki a koe Sharlee mo tō mahi ki raro I te maru o te Kohanga reo. Kua roa te wā koe e whana ana I taua ara. Ko koe tētahi e wakatipu I ngā tamariki o Opunake ki te reo Māori. Hei whāngai ki ngā kura katoa o taua taone iti. Nā reira e mihi ana ki a koe whakapau kaha ana mo taua kaupapa, because it's been a few years, Sharlee? You've been there. You've been there for a while, and I'm glad that you've touched on that early in the piece, because that was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, and for everyone to get a glimpse. I mean, everyone from Opunaki will fully know Sharlee runs the Kohanga reo. She's been there forever. Man, you must have been straight out of school, eh?
Yeah, since I left high school at the end of sixth form, and Mum was like, yeah, you're definitely coming to the Kohanga to do mahi, so I've been there for 27 years.
Yes, because Te Hiraka is 20... Oh, gosh, he must be 24 now. Is he? How old's Tānik?
Tānik's 22.
And is Te Hiraka the same age or older, eh?
Older, yeah.
Older, yeah. So you would have just been there a few more years than him, because he was what? Did he actually come to you at Kohanga reo, or?
I only had.
But he went to Kura, right? Yeah. Well, look, she's 18 now. So koutou. everyone listening into this little reminiscing situation we've got going on here. I'm just trying to give everyone indication of timeline. 27, and Sharlee is a young person too. I won't disclose your age yet, Sharlee. Oh, you might eventually. But yeah, getting back to the Kohanga Reo, so you have been in the movement for a very long time. So you would have seen things change over the years, 27 years. Were you one who went to Kohanga Reo yourself?
Carl, I went to kindy. So, but both my brothers went to Kohanga Reo over in Noho. And our Kohanga Reo started in 85 here in Opunaki. So, yeah, by the time we come back, it was all go.
Yeah, that's right. And just giving another indication of time. So we are the age group who would have just missed out. I think I caught a year of Kohanga Reo when it started, and then I was off to primary school. Same thing, went to kindergarten too. And then mum and them were teaching at the Kohanga. I'd go to kindy in the morning, I think, and then go to Kohanga Reo in the afternoon, or one or the other. So there's obviously a bit of a legacy going on here. Your mum, she decided, right, that's it, you're coming in to help with the Kohanga Reo. So how long had she been working at the Kohanga for?
So mum had been here for 2 years prior. Yeah, she was the secretary in the office to Matua Hone Huka. And yeah, she was happy with Dillon when she started at Kohanga.
Right. And did she, what was your, okay, tell me where were you raised and what was that like? And how has that informed this journey with Kohanga Reo?
Okay, so I did ahikaa I te puake ki runga I te marae o Maungarongo, kari yaku I te reo I reira. So when we returned to Opunaki, we went to St. Joseph's Catholic school. I think we might have been one of two of the only Māori I know at that school the whole time we were there. And yeah, we weren't brought up Māori. Our korero, granddad, he's Pākehā, and our kuia, Sina, she's a Māori, but she was one of those who was told, it's not okay to speak Māori, so that she didn't speak Māori at all. So kāre pēr ana te aho I te kāinga. So when I didn't actually learn te reo Māori until I got to high school, and learnt under Whaia Bev Matahat, and since then it's been kind of like an eye-opener for me. That's something that I always wanted to do, was after being with Bev. And the other day I was listening to Māni talk and being at Kura at the same time as Māni, and we were sort of nurtured under Bev at the same time, and it's awesome to see and hear other tauira who were under Bev, and their journey and where they've gone. So yeah, learned te reo Māori for 3 years with Bev, and then from there went straight to Kohanga Reo, where I've been learning ever since.
Yeah, so that's an interesting journey. You've had a teacher who's essentially sparked that interest, and you reference Māni, and Iri was kind of the same. She was on that korero too. She had a teacher too who helped to spark that flame in her in regards to te reo Māori, but you've stayed in te reo Māori. You've gone into Kohanga Reo, so it's been. Do you think that really has helped to provide the drive? I mean, obviously you're in Kohanga Reo, so you need to be able to speak Māori. But do you think that if you weren't in Kohanga Reo, that the drive would have still been as strong?
Oh, I don't think I would have learned as much had I not started straight at Kohanga. Yeah, I think I probably would have gone in another direction, something to do with sports or hakinakina or something like that. But because that's my other thing that I love to do, is training and being involved in hakinakina. But I'm very, very thankful and grateful that I got that little push from my mum, and that that the Kohanga has provided not only a job and all the things you get from being around the tamariki, but also helped me on this journey to learn Te Reo Māori as well.
Yeah, so just in case there's someone listening right now, because we know in Taranaki we need kohanga reo teachers. Kati talked about this the other night in her kōrero too, or the other morning in her kōrero too, that part of reo Māori strategy within Taranaki really needs to include boosting up our numbers of reo Māori speaking kohanga reo teachers. So there could be someone listening right now who you could inspire, Sharlee, right now, another path, and he sends them into kohanga reo. So what sort of training, I expect you've probably done hours, thousands of hours of wānanga, either reo or whatever. What sort of training have you been privy to so far in your 27 years?
So kohanga reo have their own training courses. We have Te Ara Tuatahi and Te Ara Tuarua, which are basic Te Reo Māori courses to do with the kaupapa as well. So you're learning basic things like karakia and waiata, making resources and knowing me for the tamariki to learn with. And then we have Te Tohu Whakapakari, which is our teaching degree meki. So it's not in part with me, but this is our kaupapa, so this is the way that we teach, and it's to do with the rangahau and learning the kaupapa of our kohanga reo. There are kete in there that teach you how to assess, and for me that was the kind of like why I knew I wanted to stay at Kohanga when I did Whakapakari. It did take me extra than what it should have because I had babies in between, or 2 babies in between, but yeah, I learned a lot from sitting with kuia and learning from other kaimahi, their experiences while I was doing Whakapakari as well. So there are other courses. Matua as an administration course that they do as well. But there's lots of different places in which you can learn. We're fortunate enough at our kohanga to have a kura kaupapa on site, and our Timuaki Whairobi, she does te reo courses, te reo classes for the hapore. So yeah, there's lots of places where you can learn, and I've learnt lots through wānanga reo, through kohanga reo. You know, we used to have wānanga with Timoti Karetu and Wharehuia, and those were amazing. I used to love those. And you know, you get on the bus to come home and you'd be like, oh man, I'm gonna get home and I'd have to go back to what I was doing before. And you know, being amongst all those other kaimahi and constantly speaking the reo and learning alongside kaimahi, that was like a high and a buzz. And then you get on the bus and you've got to come home and you're thinking, okay, it's going to get back to e noho, e tu, whakarongo, you know. So for me, that's been a big learning curve. You've got to have, it's like you're constantly talking to the tamariki, but you've got to have those people around you who are on the same level, same waka, all learning together so that we're bettering ourselves for those tamariki. We've been fortunate this year to have, well, not this year, but for the last 4 years to have Ngāti Toa, our Ngāti Toa, Ngārua Hine whānau from Kōrero come and join us and help us in our kohanga. So the kaiako we have at the moment is Te Ua Tōrekiriki Horomona Solomon. She's a learning kaiako at the moment. She's in her 2nd year at Whakapakari, and her reo is amazing. And we've learnt so much. Our kaimahi have learnt so much just from being in the haere with her, because she's just got that knowledge, and she's young, so she's got all these new kupu, and it's really good. It's really good to have somebody else that you can converse with in Te Reo Māori, or who can help you to make you better. And that's what we found having her there.
That's probably that would be the key, right? And it's easy at times to jump out of Te Reo Māori if you don't have that around you. And like you say, you're going from directional reo, where you're just giving instructional reo to tamariki, and not a lot of, let's say, conversational reo. which probably isn't always the best to wakapakari tō ake reo Māori, I guess. That's awesome, actually. Yeah, having access to like Timothy Karetu and back in the day, well, i moi tōna matenga, Warehuia and the like. So if you right now are listening and you're thinking, kohanga reo, it's kids. Well, those kids are getting you access to real experts, and that is not easy to come by. It's not easy to get access all the time to these types of reo Māori speakers. So that there would be a definite draw card straight away. So I might be jumping a little bit ahead, but the new whare, your new whare that you guys have been waiting for a long time. Can you tell us a bit about the journey? A bit of the history behind the kohanga reo, and then your journey to finally getting your new whare and where you guys are at today.
Yeah, it has been a long time. We had previously we had a whare which was an old army barracks, and then it eventuated. It was used at the high school in the student village when the fires happened. So they used these prefab buildings in there. So we were fortunate enough to get a couple of those put on our whenua, and for years we just went every day in the freezing cold and just did what we do. We fundraised and we applied to funding made untold funding applications to different places to try and better this whare for our tamariki, and then we went to Ministry of Education and applied to them and got $750,000 to upgrade our building. So we did that, and we've been in there for 3 years now. It's an amazing building. It's sort of the same layout, but it works for us. And it's just nice knowing that you're going somewhere where it's warm, the tamariki are going to be safe, and the environment we have at our kohanga reo, we've got our own whenua, so the tamariki have got space for days. And there's the interaction with the kura kaupapa who are also on our site, so that's good. It's just it's like a papakainga, and those are what the things that we're looking forward to in the future. We've just recently recovered some taonga that were carved on our prenua back in the Kaimahi days. So we're actually looking at building a warenui on our kohanga reo, on our whenua, and also looking into a papakainga for Kaimahi housing for our Kaimahi and our whānau. So those are the things that we're looking forward to in the up and coming years.
That's what it is, right? That is really what it is. So the whenua that you guys are on, okay, definitely Taranaki iwi. Who's the hapu that's there?
Ngāti Tamarongo.
Tamarongo. I was like, I know it's got something to do with the kura. I know it. What is it? Yes, so far, we're talking about te kura kaupapa Māori or Tamarongo. So the hapu is Ngāti Tamarongo. Oh, what a crack up. And you guys have been there for such a long time, and it is a beautiful piece of whenua there too. What a wonderful, wonderful vision to think that, in the future there will be papakainga housing there for the kaimahi. That's really, essentially, that is whānau ora in practice too. And like they say, he kura te kāinga, he kāinga te kura. So it's that sort of a concept also. So, man, you're going to be busy, Sharlee. You're going to be busy for the rest of your life.
That's the plan.
So that's the plan. I couldn't imagine you not being busy, actually. That would be quite strange. And we'll get into that more roundabout right now, I suppose. So you are on the Opunake. Oh, sorry. What's the name of your guys' community board out there?
Taranaki Coastal.
Taranaki Coastal, but there was a Māori ingoa.
So we're Taranaki ki
What was
tai, yeah.
the
We're
Māori
actually
one?
Taranaki, but I always say Taranaki ki tai.
That's the way. That's the way. Rectify it. Taranaki ki tai. That's awesome. So what does that entail for you?
So again, I was given a little bit of a push by Aorangi Dillon. She's an amazing tuahine. So she's encouraged me to join the Taranaki Community Board, Taranaki Coastal Community Board, back when it was the Egmont Plains Community Board. And so I think this is my third, yeah, I think it's my third third time on there. It's busy. We're busy. There's lots of things we have to read. There's lots of emails. We have lots of little hui. We were discussing things to do with our community. We're kind of like a go-between for our community and sometimes for the South Taranaki District Council. Lots and lots of funding applications come through us, which is good. We're always open for people to come to us for funding applications. So it's really just about being a voice out in the community, or a go-to person between us and the council. I haven't really had a lot of people come to me as of yet, as much as some of the older members, some of the long-term serving members, but it's definitely been a learning curve for me. Lots of policies and processes that we have to follow and reading up on. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. It's just another way to get out in the community, I think, and be there to help anybody who needs help.
So what sort of projects do you do? Any big projects? I think I know there's some water fountains that have gone in out at Opunake. I don't know if that you were part of that, because I'm on the iwi liaison committee down here, so I do keep an eye out on what's happening out there, Sharlee. You know, so we saw there were some water fountains that have gone in. Are those?
Yeah. So those are initiatives that we've put through, just in conjunction with the loop trail that we have here in Opunake. The loop trail have got their own committee, and so they're the ones who look after the actual tracks and the trails and walkways around Opunake. It's about I'm pretty sure it's about a 9k walkway, which is an amazing walkway, by the way, if you want to bike it or walk it. It's quite challenging in places. There's hills and all sorts. So, but yeah, it's awesome, and it has the best views in the whole of Taranaki, in my non-biased opinion.
Yes, right.
So our community board funded two drinking fountains which are on the loop trail, just to help out with people who are on the track and need water. There's also an area where they can get water for their kuri when they're taking the kuri out for a walk. So we've got one down the beach and one at the top at the lake. There's also one at the skateboard ramp, which the council put in last year, I think it was. Yeah.
So you're still getting through the policies and all of that stuff. So there's those sorts of projects that are on the go. I mean, you've talked about funding. If there's any sort of funding that's open to the community, your person who they can come to and talk to. So e te whānau, koutou rā, e noho ana ki Opunake or taua takiwa, maybe just not in the township, right? Because what's your boundaries? You must reach out rurally too.
Yeah, we go to Waria all the way to Naya and Okaiawa. So right. We've got quite a down.
So technically I'm in your boundary, because we are classed as, oh well, rightio, here we go, Sharlee. All the complaints are coming your way. Nah, jokes. But there you go, everyone who's listening, because I know we do have whānau and Manaia who listen in. And yes, Bonnie, she just has that way about her, right? First you're encouraging her and you're part of her, her cheering squad, and then before you know it, she's cheering you on to do something. You're like, how did this happen? Yes, we all know how the tuakana bonita works. There's always something ticking in that head about how everybody can contribute. But I mean, worthy member, in saying that, definitely a worthy member, because people know who you are. And that matters, it actually matters when people are on these committees. And especially for our Māori whānau out there, you got no excuses now, whānau, because you got one of your own there who can answer some questions for you. And now I also know you were talking about, your love for sport, your love for hākinakina, and I know I've been at a few trainings with you over the years with Motivate Me, and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so hard out. I'm here for the participation factor. No. So what are you up to at the moment? You'll be running something, I know it.
Yeah, so we've been running a women's fitness group now for about 6 years, called Get Fit 45. So the group initiated was initially Shorty and I, Shorty Tupaia Cooksley, went to a training session down in Te Hawera with one of the other Motivate Me ladies, and we were like, oh yeah, we just travelled half an hour to do half an hour's worth of fitness. So on the way home, we devised a plan and said, oh, okay, we're going to start doing this at home. So got together and ran a couple of sessions and saw that there was a need in Opunake and a want for wahine to come together and just, not only do something fitness wise for themselves, but also it was a bit of a social aspect as well. And one of those things that you just go along and just take part in and get to meet other mums and other women who all like-minded, and it was really good. It started out like with a hiss and a roar, and it hasn't stopped yet. We've done lots of different activities. We've walked the Tongariro crossing, and we've got people who have trained with us who have become Iron women, sorry, and lots and lots of different people who started out at Get Fit who have now moved on to do other things, and they always come back and say, if it hadn't been for Get Fit, then I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So for us, that's what it's about. It's about empowering these ladies to do something that they wouldn't usually do, or to make them feel good while they're working out. And it also gives us workout buddies so that we don't actually have to go.
Oh my gosh, I can remember that now, actually. That Get Fit 40. You know what I was thinking when we were talking about the Get Fit 45? I was thinking it was one of those gym classes that I see everyone goes to the F45 or whatever it's called. Thinking, man, you guys are pretty awesome. You've got that all the way out at Opunake. But now I actually remember you starting this. I can remember this. And it's still going 6 years later. And is it still that same crew? Because I can remember who was doing it.
Yeah, so it started out who were all working out together, and since then we've had a couple move away. But we're still doing it, still running the classes, and we still have a good number of ladies coming, and quite often we get new ladies as well. Pretty much everyone that joins the gym, every lady that joins the gym comes and has a run around with us, and it's just something else to do. And sometimes the hardest thing about learning or doing exercise is figuring out what you're going to do. So for some ladies, that saves them hard work thinking about what they have to actually do in the gym. And we're not lucky enough to have a personal trainer at our gym here in Opunake. So sometimes our Get Fit is just a starting point, and then they can learn a few things, and then they go off on their own and join the gym and do stuff like stuff they know because they've been doing Get Fit. So it's been good. It's been really good for me on a personal level, because it's given me a bit more motivation to do stuff, to take part in learning other things as well. I became a MetaFit coach 5 years ago, and that's been huge for me. Love MetaFit, would do it every day if I was allowed or able. but it's all the ladies seem to enjoy it. It's only like a 25-minute workout, pre-recorded, so it's really quick and easy, but get your heart rate up and it gets you working, and that's all you need to do.
I'm so proud of you, Sharlee. I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, I can remember this. Like, oh man, now and then in the same sentence, I'm feeling guilty. Like, gee, I'm sure I said to her a few times I'd go to one of those classes, and I probably never showed up. maybe I'll make a public declaration now, right now, in front of everyone from Taranaki, and say, maybe I'll get to one of these classes in the summer. So you've been involved in heaps of the sport, right? So was it league? Were you playing league or rugby at some stage too?
Yep, so we had a women's league team this year, and we played a couple of games against the Taranaki ladies. We're hoping to get more games in next year, but also had a run at rugby this year. First time I've ever played rugby, and probably the ladies probably weren't too keen because I asked lots of questions. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm really keen to play again next year if I'm able.
So, Sharlee, I'm just doing this for inspiration's sake, because you just said it's your first year playing rugby. So, okay, you don't have to tell me exactly how old you are, but I just want to provide inspiration for everyone out there who's thinking of starting something new. And they may think, no, you don't start something new in your 40s. I'll say 40s. But obviously, you do. You do start, because there is difference between league and rugby, right? I talked about this with Caps and Ari a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about the Whakarongo club, who have all the teams in league now, and their under 14s team, they'll be great once they know how to play league, but they're all rugby players. So there's a definite difference, right?
Yeah, there is a definite difference. There's lots and lots of rules in rugby. It's actually really painful for somebody who just wants to catch the ball and run. But yeah, I learned lots and lots, and I learned not to run around like a crazy chook. So that was good.
Do they conserve their energy a little bit more in rugby or something like that? Or is it a more structured game?
I actually think league's more structured, to be honest, because rugby's all over the place. You have to be wherever the ball is, whereas in league you can just wait for your turn.
Yeah. So, because I love talking about sport too. How are we faring at the moment?
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. I was like, has my screen frozen? In regards to what are our numbers looking like? Is there potential for us to play interprovincial rugby league or even rugby? What is it like for women who are playing rugby league in Taranaki at the moment? Is there competition out there?
I honestly don't know if we'd be able to get more than 3 teams in Taranaki. We struggled to find a team to play against last year, and in our team we were a Coastal Cobras team, but we had a lot of South Taranaki ladies from Hawera and Manaia come and play as well. We're all mums and we're all busy chasing our kids, and our husbands are out there playing rugby league and rugby, and so we're looking after the home front sort of thing. But there's definitely there are those younger generations of women of young rangatahi playing league and playing in the Māori tournaments. And for instance, in our junior rugby league under 6s team that we had this year, we had 8 girls in our team, and there's got to be a pathway for those girls to go to. So
yeah,
and Coastal Cobras, we have lots of girls playing rugby league, like the other clubs. So we don't want to lose them to netball and basketball. We want them to play rugby league, if they want to play rugby league. But generally, when they go to school, they switch codes and go and play netball and basketball.
So do you think that there needs to be more of a push at a school level then? Schools need to open their hearts maybe to something else out there for our kohine, because not all of them necessarily want to play netball or basketball either, but some of them will naturally go that way. But my biggest fear is always that they just stop playing something, they just stop playing because they can't play rugby league or rugby anymore. So actually, I don't want to play netball or basketball. And I'm not going to play hockey or something like that. And then that's it for them. So, and we talked about this with caps too. Sorry, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think that there should be girls. Like I said, in club league, there's lots of girls wanting to play at every club too, not just in coastal. So it would be good even if we could have like a north versus south club day just for the girls, like they have for the age groups. I know I heard you talking about the closing day tournament with caps that were during his kōrero, and you're right, it was huge, like the opening day tournament as well. And it would be cool to have like a girls grade. Having a girls grade at something like that would be awesome, even if it's just an exhibition game for every age group would be awesome.
True. Actually, that's a great idea. Yeah, you should definitely make that happen. I said that's a great idea, then I thought, don't get too excited, Te Aorangi, because I don't want to be the one who's putting that forward. And then all of a sudden, I'm into rugby league now. No, I think that's true. Like, I think rugby, they've made a bit of a, they've been working on it for a while now, getting, because they had the same thing when we were running the rugby club. There were lots of girls coming through, but then, got to sort of the Form 1 age group, and there'd be one or two left playing. So it's definitely, there's a pathway there for them too. I mean, Gail Broughton, Iri Tanoho Haya out there on the coast too, Shael Robbins Riti as well. Michaela Blyde, all of these young women are great role models for our young kohine to look up to, and a definite example to say that, hey, this is a definite pathway. And I'd say Gail, she's come through at a time where, it's gone from being sort of semi-professional, I guess, where it wasn't before. And so they can actually playing this sort of a game. So I just want to mihi to you, all of you who keep at it out there, all of you adult women who give something new a go at the ripe old age of 40-something. That's inspiring too. And mihi to you for your little iramutu who is inspiring herself for all of us, budding artist that she is. Comes up with all of the funniest one-liners for her auntie, and obviously keeping you on your toes. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with at this point in time? It could be to do with anything. You're involved in everything.
I think for me, it's don't just sit back and watch. Get out there and get involved, whether it be with your tamariki at sports. Don't leave it up to the few and then sit back and complain or moan. It's important to be involved in our tamariki and what they're doing, whether it be education or sports, or just get out there in the environment and learn something new with them. We're always learning. There's always opportunities to learn new things, and just keep moving. Don't stop. Just keep moving.
And if anyone wanted to catch you at your Get Fit 45 classes, what could they do?
Okay, so we train Tuesdays at the event centre here in Opunake. Any ladies are welcome to come along and watch or join in. Bring your tamariki, have fun running around us and jumping all over us while we're trying to work out. Just come and have a look. You don't have to join in the first time, but I can guarantee you'll want to the second time.
Ka pai ngā mihi nui, Sharlee. Nā reira i te whānau, kua whakatakoto te wero ki a koutou katoa i tēnei wā. Sharlee's laid down the challenge to you, any of you wahine out there out on the coast or in other places who want to join them on a Tuesday evening. Feel free. I'll get the details and I'll chuck it in this post when it goes up. And you can join them at any time. I know they'll be hospitable. Nā ka mihi hoki ki a koe, Sharlee, mo te whaiwa, mo tō whaiwa ki te kōrero tahi ki a hau, o tira ki te marea e whakarongo mai nei, ki te marea e mātakitaki mai nei hoki. Nā reira ki koutou rā e are taringa mai, koe nei ngā mihi mata kui ki koutou katoa, kia pai te noho me te whai i ngā tikanga o te pai haumaru tuarua e te iwi, kia pai o koutou rā, hei konei, hei kona, tūrau, Hawaii.